More than 100 university students have spoken out in support of food delivery riders who are affected by the recent ban on electric scooters. In a letter sent to media, the students highlighted the food delivery workers' plight, including irregular incomes and lack of formal workers' associations. They urged the government to continue engaging and make appropriate revisions to the policy, and to food delivery companies to consider increasing commissions to offset the loss of income caused by delivery workers switching to slower modes of transport. With us now in the studio is Yuen Sin, who wrote an insight piece on Sunday on the gig economy. Welcome, Yuen Sin.
Hi.
Now, Yuen Sin, you wrote that gig economy work, it's not an easy ride. If you could tell us why.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely when the gig economy first came, flourished in Singapore 5 years ago, it started coming into the Singapore scene. It seems like a very attractive job option for many people. There are low barriers to entry and it offers to pay a lot more than other low-wage jobs like being a cleaner or being a security officer, right? But the structure of it is such that it tends to be unstable, and also, as you can see from that recent e-scooter ban, right, it's very prone to disruptions, whether this is because of regulatory issues or it could be business issues. So, for instance, when Grab acquired Uber last year, right, so many drivers who had previously earned some commissions and incentives said that this amount had dropped. Yeah. And when Honest Bee, it wasn't really doing well after a year or so, even though at first it came on with such promise and so on, right? So it left around 500 delivery riders in the lurch. So the very nature of the gig economy is such that because in this landscape, it's a bit unpredictable.
Yeah. It's the unpredictability, right, that makes it very difficult. Now, Yuen Sin, also in your story, you talked about a survey that was conducted, and this survey polled 200 people. What was the most startling revelation of that survey? Yeah,
so we wanted to, why we did this survey was also because we wanted to find out more about how blue-collar gig economy workers were doing, and also more about their socio-economic profile, because there's no available public data on their income background, And we found out that actually one of every two of such delivery riders and private hire drivers came from they had a per capita monthly household income, per capita income of less than 1,005, which puts them in the bottom third of Singapore's workers. So it just means that in terms of household income, they're at the lowest 30%. Yeah. So even though many of them are earning more than their previous jobs, they still find it a struggle to make ends meet. And of course, you can't blame the gig economy for not paying them the wages, because it shows that because they come from this low income background, they are more vulnerable, right? Yeah. So in the event of unexpected disruptions, whether it be business or regulatory disruptions, right? You will find that it could be a more vulnerable and marginalized class of workers that get hit by this.
Yeah, and focusing now on the food delivery rider or ride-hailing drivers, now can you share with us why a person, say, can be stuck in such positions?
Yeah, I mean, the gig economy is actually meant for people who want to do this maybe as a temporary measure, right? Like you're in between jobs or you're a student and you need more pocket money. But I think what many academics have highlighted over the years is that it is not sustainable as a full-time job option, especially if you're looking at a 4 to 5 year time horizon. Right. And it's primarily because of the lack of labor protection. So, for instance, you don't get CPF contributions except for, I think, MediSave, right? So people need CPF to save for housing, for retirement security. Right. So even though these workers could be getting more in the short term, the lack of such reserves in the future could also hinder the social mobility, for instance, right? And also many of them that we spoke to work very long hours, like 8 a.m. to 2 a.m., for instance, because they need to catch the peak hour timings where they can earn more incentives. So even though they take breaks in between, there's not much time they have left over to invest in skills training or looking for other alternatives. So then you find that they're kind of lured by the immediacy of this, but there isn't much planning for the future.
So there is a myriad of factors that could possibly render them to be stuck in such positions. Now, thank you, Yuen Sin, for the invaluable insights. You can read more about Yuen Sin's piece on the gig economy on our website, straitstimes.com. Now, those were the top stories for the day. For more news and videos, you can visit our Straits Times website. Once again, I'm Haryanto. See you tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.